Okay, we record this and it's starting right now. And what we're doing is putting these Zooms on YouTube. So that's why it's recording. And so what this time around, oh, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your meetings, gatherings, I guess, with all your family and friends. And we had a blast with our family meeting gathering, I guess. Yeah, so it was fun, and wishing you guys the same gatherings with your family. Let's see. What we're going to do is we are going to do nouns for this time. And nouns is let me see, kate, kaategin. Okay, kaategin is stuff that are loose translations for nouns would be things that are lying around. That's what kaategin means. So it's these would be nouns. What the first thing I want to do is ahgihmm, and because it's in the wintertime, I remember my dad used to make all these snowshoes for all of us as we were growing up way up north. And ahgihmm, yeah, snowshoe. And don't confuse this word with ahgihmm, okay? See, it's ahgihmm. Then another word that really closely sounds to ahgihmm is ahghimm. Okay, that first syllable, ahghimm. And ahghimm means count him in, count her in. So, include him or her, ahghimm. So, but this one here is ahghimm. And I'm going to show you ahghimm. And this is a woman's snowshoes, ahghimm. I don't know if I could get the whole thing here. Okay. And you must remember that these were made by my dad about 40 years ago. 40. And he made them for Liz after we got married. So it was a wedding present. And after 40 years, that curve is still here. Okay, right here. And and I remember, let me see, these holes here that he dug, that he put in is with, what do you call those, manual drills? He did that. And this year is birch. Okay, he made all his snowshoes with birch, and Wahwahskaysih is birch. And the reason he used birch was it bends real easily, and that it will last a long time, and that you had to go out way into the bush looking for the right type of Wahwahskaysih birch tree. It had to be straight, and usually got them off where there was water, swampy area, and that the birch tree had to be straight and with no knots, or and the thing too is that the tree couldn't have any twists to it, So the grains have to be straight. Now, you would cut down the tree, split it in half, and then split those halves again, so he could have 4 pieces of birch. And then he would, with a canoe knife and a plane, a handheld plane, he would carve these frame with those until they're, this size. And he would take, I remember these things would be straight here. And what he would do is, I'm not sure if you could see it right here. See that little, there's a little, little groove here. Okay, little grooves. And the reason for that, I don't have something. Okay, these things will be tied back to back like this. Okay, and then he would tie a, here. I'll use my mouse for. He would put a stick here, or a little piece of wood like this here and here, and then he would tie it, okay, tie it together and tie one here. And what he would do was tie them really tight. What he would do is he would bend these things here, okay, and then you would bend them like this. And then these, there'd be a stick here and a stick here. And then he would get my mom or somebody else, put a bigger stick here through here and here, so that this stick would catch on, and then this stick that was here, would catch on. And then see that these frames, and then they would have that shape. Then these things would dry out like this in the house for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. And then when he took these sticks off like that, they would be this bend like this. And this has been, like, for over 40 years now. And then the next thing he would do is, after this thing is all bent, there's this little stick here, okay, metigons, that's what you call it. And he had cut a hole here and a hole here on this side of the frame. And then what they would do is they'd pull these things, this frame, you would stand on this one here, pull this one up like this, and then stick the hole on this side. And then there's another hole here. And let me see, you can see that hole right here. Okay. Put a stick there, put another one over here, like that. And then at the end here, these guys would be nailed in right here. So it would be like this. Okay. Yeah. So that's how they were made a long time ago. And then after this wood is dry, he would take that moonshine, and it would be in the water. So, and then he would cut it up into small strings like this. Okay, so this is all moonshine, and this one here is thin, and this part here is thick. Okay, and it's all weaving that they would do. Like this, and then this part here is also tin, thin. Tin. Okay, and then these straps. Okay, we would have used different straps with this, but I think I bought this for $9.99 at Canadian Tire a long time ago. The thing is that we would put our feet here with our, moccasins, moccasins, and then we would walk like this, so that we would have this grip in the snow when we walk like that. Okay, and this would be tied to the moccasins. Okay, and so that is Ahgihm. Now, in the wintertime, when we had to make a new camp or something like this, we would have been walking all day with our Ahgihm, and then sometimes we would use them to use them as shovels to shovel snow, and or then we would also pat down the ground with our Ahgihm. So it was very, very useful in that way. And then another thing we had to do was at night, if we get really, really bored, we would take them and use them for a guitar, like this. Hey, good looking. No, just kidding. And so that is the Ahgihm. Now, this is a woman's size. Let me see here. Yeah, woman's size. It would come up to here. Yeah, the men's size would come up to here, about a foot longer. Okay, so that's Ahgihm, and this is what the Moosite. Okay. Mahkihsihn, so the Mooswan. With that, let me see here. Yeah, and then, okay, after that, we had the two types of moccasin. Okay, so and then I wrote down ahgihmmug, snowshoes for plural form. And you have the UG at the end for Ahgihm. Okay, Ahgihm. Now, so let me see. Yeah, I'll go in the order that we have, and Attickwan, the deer hide. Okay, that is Attickwan, deer hide, and then attickwannun, deer hides. Now, the Attic is actually Caribou. Yeah, I should have changed that. Yeah. Okay. So Jamie, you can change that Attickwan to what do you call it? Caribou. Yeah. Deer hide is Wahwahskaysih. Yeah, I'll change it after. And Wahwahskaysih is a deer, and Wahwahskaysih, yeah, and Wahwahskaysih is a deer. And the deer, why do they call it Wahwahskaysih? You see the word Wahwah at the beginning, and here I'll write it down in the chat room here. Okay, when I say Wahwah, W-A-H, Wahwahskaysihnun. See that? Just wait, Wahwahskaysih. Okay, now, Wahwahskaysih is, that's a deer. Okay. Wahwahskaysih. The word Wahwah has something to do with white. Okay, Wahbizeh, and Wah in there for he or she is white or it is white. Wahwah, and then Shkaysih is for the deer. Okay, like the part of the deer. And Wahwahskaysih is a thing that has a white thing, a white part in its body. And where we got that from was a long time ago. Wahwahskaysih is you must remember that when they sense danger, okay, they bring their tails up and then they go and then they take off and their tail is going back and forth like this. And so it's telling all the other deers that there's a hunter or there's danger around. Wahwahskaysih. So that would be for deer. And then you have Wahwahskaysih and then lug at the end for deers, more than one deer. And so the deer, you could use deer hide for this too, but we also have moose hide. The only reason why I use deer hide was I have a deer hide right here. Okay, I'll move back just a bit like this, and this has been tanned, and it is really soft. Okay, and what happened is that yeah, the deer hide was like this. Okay, now this is raw hide. Okay, and you could see it right through here, so it's almost transparent, and that's how thin these the hides can be scraped. And with these hides, give you a little lesson on hides, Attickwan and moose hide. Okay. After moose or deer are killed, and everything in the deer and the moose is used, and one of the things is the hide, and the woman always called it Anishinnaabaymohwin. That would be your first thought when a moose was killed, was the hide. And they would skin the moose or the deer, take the hide, and the woman always went for the hide first of all. And what they would do was, I remember our mom and dad skinning the hide by cleaning it, I guess. On one side would be all the fat and the meat, and then they would use a knife and cut out all the all the excess fat and meat until it was clean of all those membranes. And then the next thing was they'd turn it over, and then they would cut out all the hair of the moose and the deer. Then after that, it looked really rough. The hide was really rough, and I remember seeing them putting on putting that hide into a huge wooden stretcher, I guess you call it, and tying up and these right here, okay. They would cut holes here all the way around the hide so that the strings can go through, and they have these little slits, and then they would have that hide all stretched out, and it was really good to do it in the wintertime so that the hide freezes. And then what I remember what my dad would do is get a blade of an axe and with a little handle, and he would scrape both sides of the hide until it was almost transparent. And then after the scraping is done, they'd bring the hide in into the cabin or into the tent or wherever we were living at that time. And the moose hide would be all frozen and stiff, and then it would have to thaw out. Then after it thawed out, that hide was put in water. We'd have a big tub, it'd be full of water. And then that hide would soften up to make the strings here and they would cut them, and then they would cut them really thin or thick, whatever they want to use it for. So, but that is just the raw hide. Okay, you could use that for string. But the other thing too was that there was the tanning of the moose hide or the deer or whatever hide it is. Wahwahskaysih. Now, the moose hide, you take, I remember Mom and Dad would take it out of the water, and then they would squeeze all the water out that's in that would be in the hide. And what they would do is with this, let's say this is just raw hide, right? One person would twist one way, the other person would twist the other way, like this, until all the water is drained out of it. And then when that raw hide is dry, now what they would do is they would take the brain of the deer and the moose, and they would boil it in a big frying pan or a pot. And but you have to, don't eat the brain, and then put some water in there, stuff like that. And the brain is actually smeared on both sides. Okay, so smeared on this side, and then you smear it on this side. The drum would be better. Now this here is raw hide. Okay, so the brain would be smeared on this side, and then the brain would be smeared on this side, and then you would leave it alone for a couple days anyway, and then just wait, because what happens is that the brain, we call ween dib, the brain has acid in it, and the acid will help break down the fibers that inside the hide, okay, on both sides. So the brain just has enough acid to do that. So so that the brain mixture goes in on both sides and starts breaking up the fiber of the hide. And then, yeah, don't ask me whoever thought that, whoever thought of that a long time ago. And you must remember that we were doing this way, way before the arrival of the Europeans. So I don't know where they got where they got the science to do this, but it was done. And then about a week, they would take the hide, this raw hide, and the brain is inside here now, and they would put it in the water, because if the brain was in here and you put it in the water right away, the brain would just wash off. Okay, so you want the brain to go into the hide for a bit. And after that, the hide is now is placed in the water again, and at this time it's also to soften it up, so that it doesn't and the brains is already inside inside here, so then you don't have to worry that the brain is going to wash off. So and then you would soak it in the water until it was soft again. And then the same thing. You would twist, one person would twist one way, the other person would twist the other way, until they squeeze out all the water again. Bang goes it, so it'll be dry. Now, after this is nice and dry, for side, see this side here, okay, you can leave it like this, okay, it will be white, okay, but another step that is needed to make it that tan color, like this color, the tan color. There's another step that needs to that we need to do. And that step is you have to what you call the smoking stage. And what you do when you smoke it is you take the hide and you make it into a like a cylinder type of thing here. So then you would sew this part, and you would sew this part here like this, until, but not the bottom part. The bottom part would remain open, so that what happens to this bottom part that's open like this is that you'd put a pail here, and then you would put the hide, surround the hide at the bottom part of the hide. And usually what happens is that this part here, some people will have canvas, and then make a skirt here of canvas, so that the canvas will go over the pail. Now, the idea for this is that what happens is that when you put the wood into to smoke the hide, is what we call pigichisig. And pigichisig is rotten wood. So people would go into the bush a long time ago and find the trees that have fallen down, and they'd have this rotten wood, and they would bring it and put it in a pail and light a match to it. But the thing too is you can't have an open flame, okay? Because an open flame would be too hot and fry your the mosside brains into the hide, and you don't want to have fried brains all over your hide. So it was just smoke that would go through here, okay, all through the inside part of the hide. So the smoke rises into the through the hide, and the reason for that is to have a little heat on the rawhide, and that is where the pores are even opening up even more in the hide, and so that the brain solution goes even deeper into the hide. Because remember, when you get too hot, it gets hot in the day, you start to sweat, and the reason why you sweat is that your pores are opening up. And so that's the same thing with the hide. The pores are opening up, and then the brain the brain solution goes in deeper. Now, the thing with that, when you have your first smoking, you do it on both sides. And your first smoking usually has this white part in there. And so the same thing is you bring it in again with the hide that's been smoked. And then you let it sit for a couple more days, because the brain is going in deeper into the hide and doing its work, breaking up the fibers. The acid in the brain is doing that. And then you smoke it again after. So your second smoking is the same process with rotten wood. And that's where you get your tanned hide from. So, and smoking, the smell of it is going to last for forever, I guess, for a lifetime. So, and then after that, after your tanning, then that's when you can make your moccasins and doing all that kind of stuff. But first, I got, let me see, Mahtwayigun. Mahtwayigun is the drum. Now, the word Mahtwayigun, Mahtwayigunnun, comes from Mahtwayigunnun. And Mahtwayigunnun is, he or she is drumming, okay? And Mahtwayigunnun, and that's where we would hear the ruffled grouse in the springtime doing poof, poof, poof like this. That's why we would say Mahtwayigun. making that drum sound with his wings. And this one here is the mittig, okay, and then you'd make these drums. Now, this is the raw, as I told you, and this is the strings from the moose or deer or whatever you use to use as a string to tie together. And this is cedar, this whole thing of cedar. And this is the one that, yeah, my dad made this for me over 40 years ago. So, but I'm not a really good singer. And if I sing a song, all of you guys are going to cry. It'll be so sad. I don't want to make you guys cry during the holidays. But the drum sound will go like this. The edge here. They go louder when you go to the center. Now, when you go to powwows and stuff like that, you hear going, okay. But it's always that what they call the vocables, and they are just using vowels all the time. And the thing with drums in the song Mahtwayigun was in the creation story. It starts off with Wahwahskaysihnun, Mahkihsihn. Okay, you could hear the drum a long time ago. So that's where once Beijing, we would start off with that. Let me see. Mahkihsihnnun says there was nothing here in the universe, I guess. And then that's where they say. And then, of course, the other thing that they would mention would be the drum. Kihkayndahsohwin, Mahtwayigun means there was a sound of the drum. Yeah, so that's the beginning of the Ojibwe creation story. And it's not just the Ojibwes that have that; it's the Crees, the Menominee, and all of the tribes are with the Anishinnaabay nation. So that's where we would have the drum, the song, and the songs were made during the wintertime. And then I think I said this last week, and that these songs were shared during the summer. So that's Mahtwayigun, and then you have mahtwayigunnun for drums. Now, with this rawhide, after you smoked it, you would let me see here. You would have moccasin. Okay, so this here is a working snowshoe. Okay, has no beads on it. Okay, and you can tell that this is Ojibwe made because the seams are on the outside here. Okay, so that's my mom made these for me. Oh, geez, a long time ago. and this here is a piece of canvas. A long time ago, it would be moonlight. And this insole here, okay, $7.99 at Canadian Tire. That was a long time ago, so it's probably $15 now, or even $30. So it was, but a long time ago, instead of these Canadian Tire insoles, we would have rabbit skins that to put in our moccasin. Oh, got a hole in it. Yeah, I blew my moccasins a long time ago. But this thing here is that it will keep your feet warm with the rabbit skins here, even minus 40 below Celsius or Fahrenheit. Yeah, Fahrenheit. So that's how we use these. And these are used for the snowshoes. Okay. These would be wrapped up here, and then the snowshoes would go here, and then boom, 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 and the way you would go. So these are moccasins, working moccasins. Okay, now even these strings here, they're also made out of moosehide. Okay, but this was the string is tanned also, so it would make string out of the tanned moosehide deer hide also. So that's your working moccasin. And then you would have, let me see here. I think everybody could see these. Yeah, these are moccasins that my mom had made for Liz after we got married. And the beadwork is flowers, and most of our mom's beading, she always used the floral design, and I remember her making these, and all when we were growing up, she'd make these flowers, and these are would be berries also, and then the flowers. Now, Anishinnaabay, the Ojibways, would have these floral designs because they were celebrating the power of the flower. They had they boil them down to make use of them for colors, and also the berries would be used for from some plants for food and medicine, and also the stalk and also the roots. They had some uses for them too, for medicine and also for food. So that's why the flower was so used for all of the designs of the Anishinnaabay. So that's how she would make all her moccasins with that. Okay, I have another. I have the other one here in the bag. Okay, so these are tanned with these things here. So, and these moccasins also are used for ceremonies. If you have to go to a ceremony, you would have them. But also the hides or the tanned hides, you'd make moose hide jackets, with fringes on them, leggings. You'd have that, and they're all beaded. And also the Attickwan's, the cradle boards that were made. They had. They also had the cradle boards would have all beaded flowers on them, animals that people would make with the cradle board. They're surrounded with moose hide, deer hide, these cradle boards a long time ago. So that's we have all of these things that is connected with the moose hide. Now, the next one, okay, is Monz Kahkittohwin, I called it. That would be Monz Kahkittohwin. Yeah, that'd be a moose collar, and of course we would only hunt the moose in the fall, and it would be usually the protocol or the Anishinnaabay law, Isihjihgaywin, is that we only kill the male moose at that time, because the female moose would have babies, would be starting to carry their babies. So we would leave the female moose alone. So, of course, the male moose at that time would have their set of antlers, all grown, and they'd fight amongst each other to see who would be the father of all these baby moose, I guess. And the thing that we did was we would wait in a really nice area where there is a lot of grass and marsh. It'd be out in the open. And then we would sit and wait when it's just getting dark before the sun goes down, and wait for any sounds of moose but if you had to call a moose, okay, you would have a moose collar, and this is what we would have, okay, right there. Okay, and this is a birch bark, okay, and this here would be the inside part of the birch bark, and this would be the outside part of the birch bark. Now, how these were made, like how do you get the birch bark off the trees? The only time you can get the birch bark off the birch trees is in the springtime, when the sap in the tree is running, and then you would cut around the upper part and then the lower part of the birch tree, and then you take the birch bark off without killing the tree, actually. And then the white part would grow back in after many years. And then after this, you take this off, and then you make it into a cylinder like that. And then see these things here, they are made, these are spruce roots. Here, spruce roots. And you'd get the spruce roots in the spring and summer also in the fall. What you do is find a spruce tree, find one of the roots of a spruce tree, cut it off near the base of the tree, then you'd pull it out of the ground. It goes for a long ways. And then you'd take a bunch of them from different trees. And then you would, of course, have branches all over it, stuff like that. And then you would, actually, people put them in water. These roots, and take off all the bark, because this one here, all of these things here are, the bark is, the roots are taken off, and then they're split down the middle. Each root is, and then you could you put holes here, and then you just weave the spruce, spruce roots all the way around. And this again here is what is it? Yeah, it's just cedar strip like that. And then in the fall you sit out there, and then you want to bring that big bull moose out. And what you do is you sit out there when it's nice and calm, and then you make this moose call. Okay, and it sounds like this. You go like this. Oh, oh, like that. Okay, and then of course all the bull moose will come running out, and then after that, you hear crashing in the bushes, stuff like that, and you know that there's a moose out there, a bull moose anyway. And the sound, oh, oh, is a sound made by a female moose. And of course, the big bull moose is, oh, there's a female here. So he comes running through the bush, and then that's when you shoot him, and then after that you would do all the stuff with the meat and the moose hide and all that stuff for getting clothes and the string for the stringing of the Ahgihm, the snowshoes. And that's about it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is part of a cultural presentation of the stuff that the Anishinnaabay made a long time ago. And I think there's a lot of people that are returning to making all these artifacts, and doing it, the old way of doing it. And I know some people that do the beading have said to me that the way that we tan the moose hide the natural way, with the moose, with the brain, tanning it that way is a lot better for beading, because the hide is softer than the hides that are done commercially with chemicals that people tan hides with. So from now on, use the brains of the animals so that you have softer hides. And that's about it. If people want to make any comments about any of these things here, I think that would be good, and I hope that you know, people could start doing these Anishinnaabay artifacts again, just to keep the traditional tradition going. But I forgot to mention that these are they're scrapings of plants here. Okay, and an animal also for these moose collars made out of birch bark. Okay. Okay. So that's about it for now. Oh, okay, Miigwech Kurt. Lori Miigwech. Okay, yeah. So Lori, the recording will be posted on YouTube.
I'll put the YouTube channel in the chat for you, Lori.
Yeah. Oh, Quinn, Miigwech, P. Wabman. Yeah, here's that YouTube thing. It'll be there anyway. How many recordings do we have now?
We have 8 of them. 8 of them on YouTube.
8 of them now. Yeah. So yeah, we're getting kind of a lot of presentations about language and culture, because there really isn't any disconnect or with culture and language, because it's the same thing with that. And the reason why we're doing this is to keep you know, a record of the language, and have the language recorded somehow for people to use later on. And I haven't tried this yet, but I think next time is thanks, Lori. Yeah. Yeah, there's always stories behind these things that we make. And the thing that I didn't say is, every time we cut down a tree to use something like an artifact from a tree or a plant, there's a prayer that we say that because your life is so perfect, we are going to use or make something that is perfect as what your life was. So that's the prayer that would go along with taking the life of a plant or a tree. We would create something with a tree. And another thing, even with the animals, after or before we even kill an animal, there's a prayer, there's a vision, there's a dream about that, about the animal with that, and there's a prayer, a song that we would use. Plus, there was also when after the animal was killed, there was also a prayer, and so that was, and the prayer would go with something about you know, saying thank you for giving up its life, so that we could use it for you know, for food, clothing, or whatever, tools that we're going to do. So that's basically it for now. And one of the other next lessons, I'm going to try to give you lists of words, and I'll try to give you the meaning behind each word, and think so to develop, I guess, vocabulary and sentences for next lessons. So I think that's what we will be doing anyway with that. And I think one of the things I want to try is using flashcards and see if you guys can remember all the words after a while, and that it'll be recorded, and it'll be on YouTube for you to use if you forget, what the heck did he say? What did he mean by that? So that would be it. Okay, that's it. Miigwech, Minoa, Pigoabmin. And the reason I'm cutting you guys off right now is that the World Junior Hockey game is on. Canada's playing. So, thank you for all of you that came here and to listen and learn something about the Ojibwe. Okay. Now, Bamapi. Minoapi goabamin. That's what Minoapi goabamin. I'll see you later. That's how it says. You guys.